Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. It's disturbing the reality that our economy is in from a financial standpoint. Cashless nations appearing. The fundamental value of the dollar has lost nearly 98% of its purchasing power due to hyperinflation. We are trying to dig ourselves out of debt by replacing it with more debt. That's a hole that is way too deep to ever come out of. We need to make an entirely new monetary system. We're trying to pump these dollars into this worthless system and impregnating it to the point that our money will have the purchasing power of, let's say, a couple pennies. And this is already happening in third world countries where they carry their money in trash bags because their dollar is so worthless. This is the rate that we are going, even the richest countries in the world. The dollar has never worked in any financial system, any economy, any society ever ever. Gold and silver have been the only real valued currency traded for over 6,000 years, way longer than any dollar or fiat-based currency has. This is why precious metals are timeless. This is why they're so useful and resourceful, beneficial. It's an alternative to protect yourself against inflation as things get worse. Recessions are definitely something that people try to sweep under the rug, almost like out of sight, out of mind. They're not going to think about it. Try to pretend it's not happening. Let's just push it all away in our imagination and pretend it's all just a fairy tale, or it's all just, it's imaginary. It's an illusion. But the thing is, when you do that, then you're not preparing for the reality, and especially looking at the charts. Go to usdebtclock.org and look at those charts. $24 trillion in debt. It shows everything else too. Everything's in the red. This is something that I don't think enough people are aware of, or maybe they're just not ready to accept this knowledge or accept this information, because if they did, it would strike too much fear. We already see how much gold and silver's prices are influenced with something as, minuscule as the US-China trade wars, or Trump tweeting out something that could spike, not only just stock markets but precious metals themselves. And it seems like precious metals are the only thing that are ran positively, or is a positive outcome from that type of stuff. Stock markets fall, people usually get more scared, more more sketched out when this stuff happens, but they do tend to start turning towards precious metals, which is a positive, because at least then they're putting their wealth into something that holds its value. But I want to talk about, I just want to talk about the fiat based platform and how gold and silver is attached to it and why it's irrelevant in my perspective. Because when you're putting your perspective of silver on a fiat level, then that's contradicting the whole point. That's like when central banks tried to network with Bitcoin. That's missing the whole point. The whole point of Bitcoin was to get away from central banks on a decentralized platform. It's decentralized, meaning it's the exact opposite. The blockchain is the exact opposite of what a central bank does. There's no central bank in charge. There's no bank of Bitcoin. It's on everyone's public servers, and everyone has to vote to cast something new. And doing that with fiat currency to silver is the same type of logistic behind it, because the whole point of investing in silver is to put your fiat currency into silver, because silver has intrinsic value. Silver is the real money. Fiat currency is just a promissory note. The real money is the gold and silver. When our money was backed by silver, constitutional silver that actually has silver in it, that was real money because the silver inside of it. The 50-cent half dollar wasn't worth 50 cents just because someone said it was. It was worth 50 cents because there was 50 cents of actual silver inside of it. But now our money doesn't have any silver in it. So you're saying that it's still 50 cents? No, it's not. And you can see how over time, over the years, it's only going to grow worse and worse, because now we're trading, we're printing out more of these, we're circulating more of this money with nothing that has value backing it. And you can see, to the extent that we're at now, how damaging this can be, how detrimental it can be to the economy. I don't feel like news sources are sharing the reality enough about this stuff. You have a couple, but they kind of get pushed under the rug. looked at more as conspiracy theorists more than, real news, real news sources. But I do have a good feeling that most of the precious metals investors do understand this. Some other people do, but I feel like the people that are investing in precious metals see the bigger picture, because when you're investing in precious metals, you're understanding that nothing is as intrinsic that as precious metals that have the same type of value and potential, especially for the long term. Nothing else does, because everything else is based from a fiat point of view. If you look at these cashless nations, they are using Bitcoin now. They're using cryptocurrency. People are seeking out anything to fix that problem. When Trump made that joking about bringing back the gold standard, it obviously it can't. We're too far down the hole to have this in place nowadays. We would have to make up all those years of debt that we've piled on ourselves, and the gold standard wouldn't be able to work. If we would have kept the gold standard in place, we would be at a much better spot now. But it's way too late now. So I don't know what we can do. Cryptocurrency was an interesting alternative, but there's several flaws with Bitcoin, several flaws with cryptocurrency. But it was the right idea of a global coin, a global currency with instant transactions globally. It's also universally the same denomination. There's no Bitcoin of China or Bitcoin of America. Bitcoin is traded everywhere. It's like everyone in the world learning how to speak the same language, but from a monetary form. That was really, interesting to me. Also, how you're in complete control of your wallet with the private key. And I also liked how, it was uh it was bringing a new light of investing into the world. A lot of people started investing that never would before, and that I think that sparked a lot of people to become investors and see the potential that's in investing. But there was also things wrong with Bitcoin, like all the wallets that got hacked, and only 21 million ever to be, produced, which is extremely low of a number. So there could be problems with that later on. That's why there's all these hard forks. There's Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Futures. There's so many different types of Bitcoin now. We almost lost touch of the real one. But another thing I did like with Bitcoin was that everything was stored on a public database, which was the blockchain. So like when we found out when JP Morgan was calling Bitcoin a scam, and they saw in the public database, the blockchain, that JP Morgan, after they called it a scam and shot Bitcoin's price down, they bought a whole bunch of Bitcoin, millions of dollars worth. They couldn't hide that because Bitcoin shares everything publicly. It's not like central banks that can do shady stuff behind the scenes. Enough about cryptocurrency though. I just wanted to share that perspective, because it sheds light on some solution, but there still is no answer. We're getting closer, but we're also getting farther away at the same time. People are making efforts, but at the same time, until we find a solution, our financial situation is going to keep getting worse and worse. So investing in precious metals will definitely help you understand this stuff, understand that the fiat value of stuff is irrelevant, because the intrinsic value is what matters. That's the real money inside of it. When we're investing in the precious metals, whether it's for SHTF prepping, whether it's for, just coin hobby, whatever it is, it's all the same thing. It's all silver and gold. And that's where the real value lies. And the more people to understand that, the better off they're going to be. When I'm thinking 20 years down the line, I can't imagine what our financial system's going to be like. And by that time, I'll have plenty of silver and gold stacked up to, I don't care. Well, it's not that I don't care. It's not going to affect me as much as, or as dramatic as it would someone who has been keeping their money in a bank account, or people that don't invest at all, because I will still have stuff that is tangible, that is valuable to some degree, and I can, then do what I choose with that from there. But at least I'm preparing myself. At least I will be much more ready than 99% of the world ever will be, and you guys are as well. And that stuff is it's precious to know, and it's also it's stuff that we have to take control of. We can't do anything about the financial system collapsing. All we can do is, you know, make is what we choose, and our options are investing in the precious metals or not doing anything about it. And the people that are going to be heavily rewarded for it and much safer. You know, it's definitely a safety net. But anyways, I want to wrap this video up here. I thank you guys for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I post daily videos, so stay tuned for that as well. If you do want to check out some of my other stuff, I posted 2 other videos today. I know you guys will dig those as well, so check those out. Anyways, this was Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.